I have all I need. She makes me lie down in green meadows beside the still waters. She will lead. She restores my soul. She rights my wrong. She leads me in the paths of good things. She fills my heart with song. Even though I walk through a dark and dreary land, there is nothing that can shake me. She has said she won't forsake me. I'm in her hand. She sets a table before me in the presence of my foes.
Paul, why you look so sad? The tears are in your eyes. Come on and come to me now. And don't be ashamed to cry. Let me see you through. 'Cause I've seen the dark side too. When the night falls on you, you don't know what to do. Nothing you confess but made me love you less. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. So, if you're mad, get mad. Don't hold it all inside. Come on and come to me now. Hey, why you gotta hide? I get angry too. Well, I'm a lot like you. When you're standing at the crossroads, don't know which path to choose, let me come along. 'Cause even if you're wrong, I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. And when the night falls on you, baby, you're feeling all alone. You won't be on your own. Sing it with us. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Take me into your darkest hour, and I'll never desert you. I'll stand by you.
Oh, I feel like I need a minute after that. It was beautiful. Our chalice lighting today is With Love for Mothers and for Mothers by Selena Fox. We kindle this flame with love for mothers and for mothers, past, present, and future. We kindle this flame in celebration of community and its generations. We kindle this flame with respect and support for the greater circle of life of which we all are part. Hello, my name is Michael Lunter, and my pronouns are he, him, his. Our church shares a covenant that we make with one another, a promise that helps to remind us of why we gather and how we want to be with one another. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in saying our covenant together. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service.
Oh, let's just take a little breath. Mother's Day is complicated. Joyful for many, yes, but complicated. It's right there on the calendar, even when your mother has died, even if you've been told yet again that you're not pregnant, even if you've never been more scared than right now that you are pregnant. It's still Mother's Day. Even if your own mother's priorities included everything but you, there's going to be a Mother's Day Google Doodle with flowers and pink stuff. And even if you have scars, one that you can see or ones that you cannot, it's still Mother's Day. The cake mix commercial is going to roll out 4 times an hour, even when you can't stop shaking and crying because you can't believe you slapped your little boy today. It's Mother's Day. And we all have to live with all of that in those silent, breathless moments. Because even when the baby dies, it's Mother's Day. And so let's go to church. Let's be a church where we can acknowledge how difficult it is to have this day, right alongside how joyful it is to have this day. Let this be a church where we don't pretend that there aren't inky depths of space between us, even when we sing. Let's be a church that fills that space between our differences with love. Because even in the most broken places, there is room for love. And we can be that church. Welcome to church this morning. Good morning. My name is Reverend Pam Romancic. I'm the co-minister of this welcoming, vibrant, complicated church that sometimes doesn't get all the words up on the screen. I'm also a mother that has had complicated relationships with my 3 children throughout the years. But I want to share that my daughter Carrie and her husband and Ben's mom are all coming today to visit, and they're late. But my mom was always late to everything, and it skipped a generation, so Carrie will get here at some point. Whoever you are, whatever relationships you have, whatever identities you carry with you this morning, know that you are welcome here. And now we're going to invite Arnie Young and Young at Heart and our Reverend Karen, who is the co-minister of this church, and also our DRE to come on up front. And we're going to do our Wonder Box. Not yet, not yet. Come on up. Hi, guys. How are you this morning? Hello. Hi. How are you? Welcome. Welcome. You brought your sauerkraut. How cool is that? Okay. What do we think could be in the Wonder Box, and why is there something on top of the Wonder Box? Wonder Box is when we think about what day it is and what's going on around the world and what could possibly be in this box. Air molecules. Something. We're sticking with the favorites today. Yes. A squirrel. That's a good guess as well. Any other guesses from the larger community? Flower. Yes, Evan. Your mom. She could be. That would be a good guess. Yes. What is this on top of the Wonder Box? It's a bird. Thank you. What do birds do? They have delicious concoctions. Okay, I'm not sure where the Wonder Box is going either. I'm wondering what's in the Wonder Box.
So with birds, how do birds become mothers? They lay what? Eggs. They lay eggs. Tyler, do you want to come up and open up the Wonder Box? Oh, hold it up. What's in there? An egg. Can you show everybody? Look at that. It's an egg for Mother's Day. Awesome. Put it right there.
It's the air and molecules inside it, yes. Well, we have a story today. About, it's called Are You My Mother? You've read this one before. How many people know the story, Are You My Mother? Look at around there. Look, guys, look at that. I think we've all read it to our children. We start off with the very beginning. It says, a mother bird sat on her egg. The egg jumped. Uh-oh, said the mother bird. My baby will be here. He will want to eat. I must get something for my baby bird to eat. I will be back. So away she went. The egg jumped. It jumped and jumped and jumped. And out came the baby bird. Where is my mother? He said. He looked for her. He looked up, but he did not see her. He looked down. He did not see her. I will go and look for her, he said. So away he went. Down out of the tree he went. Down, 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 a long way down. The baby bird could not fly. He could not fly, but he could walk. Now I will go and find my mother, he said. But he did not know what his mother looked like. He went right by her. He did not see her. He came to a kitten. Are you my mother? He said to the kitten. The kitten just looked and did not say a thing. The kitten was not his mother. So he went on. Then he came to a hen. Are you my mother? He said to the hen. No, said the hen. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. I have to find my mother, he said. But where is she? Where could she be? Then he came to a dog. Are you my mother? He said to the dog. I am not your mother. I am a dog, said the dog. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. And the dog was not his mother. So the baby bird went on. Next he came to a cow. Are you my mother? He said to the cow. How could I be your mother? Said the cow. I'm a cow. The kitten was not his mother. The hen was not his mother. The dog and the cow were not his mother. Did he have a mother? I did, said the baby bird. I know I did. I have to find her. I will. I will. Just then, the baby bird saw a big thing. This must be his mother. There she is, he said. There is my mother. He ran right up to it. Mother, mother, here I am, mother, he said to the big thing. But the big thing just said, snort. You are not my mother, said the baby bird. You are a snort, and I have to get out of here. But the baby bird could not get away. The snort went up. It went way, way up, and up went the baby bird. Oh, now what was the snort going? Where is the snort going to do to me? Get me out of here. Just then, the snort came to a stop. Where am I? Said the baby bird. I want to go home. I want my mother. But then something happened. The snort put the baby bird back in the tree, and the baby bird was home. Just then, the mother bird came back to the tree. Do you know who I am? She said to her baby. Yes, I know who you are, said the baby bird.
You are not a kitten. You are not a hen. You are not a dog. You are not a cow. And you are not a snort. You are a bird. And you are my mother. Yay.
We are now going to sing our children off to their classes.
It was the first book I ever read to myself. So you know it's an old one. Most of us dream of having an impact on our community. It's challenging to have that impact alone, but together, with generosity of spirit, financial gifts, time, and love, we build on the mission we envision. Together, we'll create a beloved community. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Sometimes I get so sad. Sometimes you just make me mad. It's a sad and beautiful world. It's a sad and beautiful world. Sometimes I just won't go. Sometimes I just won't say no. It's a sad and beautiful world. It's a sad and beautiful world. Sometimes days go speeding past. Sometimes things just move too fast. It's a sad and beautiful world. It's a sad and and beautiful world. This old world will break your heart. Each day can be a brand new start. It's a sad and beautiful world. It's a sad and beautiful world.
I invite you to join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation, taking a deep breath in, and then relaxing and releasing any discomfort, any angst that you're carrying with you today. Release it. Let all energy flow down your shoulders, down your back, out the bottoms of your feet, into the rich, dark Mother Earth below us, who can turn everything we give her into compost, into love. I invite you in this moment to hold in mind the image of all things, all beings, coming from the same tree, roots stretched in limitless tangles of connection and sustenance, interconnected and interlaced in a web of living and dying that is so beautifully designed that most times it's invisible. With that image, join me in breathing. Breathe in for our lives touched by ancestors known and unknown. And breathe out for living lives that will touch our descendants. Breathe in for folks held in loving arms as they were raised up. Breathe out for folks who had to make their own way too early in their lives. Breathe in for beloveds who we hold close in our hearts every day. Breathe out for beloveds we sometimes have trouble reaching out to. Breathe in for loving. Breathe out for losing. Breathe in for parents doing the very best they can. Breathe out for impossible decisions that have to be made. Breathe in for those living with addictions, mental illness, and grief. Breathe out for those living with and caring for people living with addiction, mental illness, and grief. Breathe in for caregivers of all kinds who give of themselves to make other people's lives better, more whole. Breathe out to honor this holy work. I invite you into a moment of silence together. As Joy Simon comes up, Joy is a member of our lay pastoral care team, and she will share today's joys and concerns.
We recognize many joys and concerns within our congregation. Excuse me. You can also find it in the weekly e-news or call Reverend Pam or Reverend Karen, anyone on the lay ministry team, or simply leave a message with the office. Amy Zukowski shares that her uncle, Todd King, died in a car accident. She says, like all my family, he was stubborn and opinionated. However, he loved very deeply. He never knew a stranger and took pride in his profession as a baker. Todd will be sorely missed by my family and by many friends. If you think about it, raise a glass for Todd so his memory will stay alive. Elizabeth Van Orden sadly let us know that her 100-year-old beloved grandmother died last week. Her life was a blessing to all those who knew her. We hold Elizabeth and family in our hearts. Reverends Pam and Karen are excited to share that daughter, Carrie, and son-in-law, Ben, are expecting a baby in November. Ben's mom, Marion, is here with us today to celebrate a new batch of doting grandmas in the making. Yay, Carrie and Ben. Finally, we congratulate all our graduating seniors this year, including Kaylin McTavish, Elijah Krastev, Samuel Gonzalez, Sophia Vaughn, and Natalie Unverzik. Well done. We wish you every success in your coming adventures. Please reach out to let us know what's going on in your life if you need support or celebration.
Spirit of life and love, we give thanks to all who gave us life, who passed on their values, who supported, encouraged, inspired, and believed in us. May they be as blessed as they have ever blessed us. For all those other intentions which remain in the secret sanctuary of our hearts this morning, know that you are held and you are loved. I invite you to remain seated as we sing Spirit of Life.
Our first reading is entitled How Parenting Today is Different and Harder by Claire Kane Miller. Research has found today's parents feel intense pressure to constantly teach and interact with their children, whereas previous generations spent more time doing adult activities when their children were around. While this increased attention used to be an upper middle class goal, more recent research shows that people across class divides believe it's the best way to parent. Often, Pew found, this means more emotional engagement, Nearly half said they were raising their children differently than they had been raised by their own parents. I didn't have a safe place to express my emotions of feeling understood, one mother, 32, told Pew. I try to have weekly talks with my kids to check in on their emotions and see how they are. Becky Kennedy, the psychologist known as Dr. Becky, who founded the parenting group Good Inside and wrote a book by the same name, said, "This was common. I think this generation knows they needed that, and there's more and more permission to go, that really was an important need." Forever, parenting has been the only job in the world that we get no training and no support for. We're just expected to do it, she said. It feels harder because today's parents know how broken the system was for their parents, and they're trying to fill that gap. Thus ends the reading. And now we have a video on parenting through the ages.
You've been back-talking your mother? Boy, come here, I'm gonna give you 20. Boy, you've been playing hooky from school? Come here, I'm gonna give you 10. Michael, you've been smoking Mary Jane? Don't make me give you one. You stole my Corvette and you took Mary Beth to make out Point?
You are grounded, mister. No homecoming.
Did you forget to return the Blockbuster rentals again?
Somebody's gonna pay for those, mister, and let me tell you something. It's not gonna be me. Yo, you got an F? That is not swag.
That's an epic fail, young lady.
Hi. Honey, we're limiting your iPad use to only 12 hours a day.
You are so right, we're the problem.
So scary. You were caught uranium dumping? Your father and I did not design you to be this environmentally unconscious.
Now stop running simulations on your Neuralink before we end your free thought premium subscription.
What did we say about speaking out against the overseers?
If you do that, they're gonna take away our water rights, and then we're gonna die.
As a kid, I might have done a couple of those to my parents. I won't tell you which ones.
All of them?
Oh, our next reading is The Art of Parenting by Justin Farley. Parenting is like carving a sculpture from glass, too rough and it shatters, too delicate and you leave the edges too jagged and the corners too sharp, sure to find failure and breed a selfish heart. The sculptor must bear the cuts and bruises if the pieces is to become a true work of art, chipping away small fragments of imperfection each time a hateful yell or scream provides an examination, molding character and values with imperfect hands. There are frequent failures and regretted actions. But you wake each day determined to do the best you can. From experience will come wisdom. And as soon as you become wise, you'll find you're a fool. This thing called parenting has no manuals or fit-alls, has few hard-written rules. Some days end with a rewarding smile, others with frustrating sighs. But the goal is not friendship or perfection. It is to prepare a child for life. Thus ends the reading.
I have a confession to make. This is my first sermon in 15 years of ministry that I actually preached on Mother's Day. I kind of avoided it because it's a topic that can sometimes feel fraught. What it means to be a mom today seems light years away from what it was when I was growing up, and even farther, from when I was raising my children, even farther from when I was growing up. And there's so many ways that we recognize mothering today. It's nurturing, it's sacrificing, it's inspiring, it's attuning, it's showing up. Mothering is not something that is exclusively done by people who have pushed a child through their birth canal. We recognize that in ways that we didn't before. Times and people's attitudes have changed over time. There has been such a huge shift in society in the past 100 years that it actually boggles the mind. I remember thinking about my kid's grandmother, Helen, who was the fifth out of like 7 children, and her parents immigrated here from Hungary. Her older siblings were born overseas, but she and her youngest sister were born in Lorain, Ohio. And Helen went from taking a horse-drawn school bus to school to watching her grandchildren do their homework on home computers. She survived the Great Depression, she watched the moon landing. The world changed beyond recognition in her 93 years. But I think there's something even more drastic of an evolution for the past 30 years. An evolution in how we understand the human psyche. An evolution which means in what it means to be a parent and how to raise happy kids. I blame Oprah. She opened up the world of psychology to the masses, and she helped us expand our concepts of what human beingness was all about beyond academia. I began raising my kids pre-Oprah, in that world where you were a successful parent if you just kept them alive until adulthood. As a working mom, I didn't actually have time to ever watch Oprah. In fact, I saw a couple, but we know it leaked into the popular culture. I do remember one time driving my car in the 1980s and listening to an NPR report that was saying how emotional abuse might be more damaging than physical abuse to children. I was puzzled. All dads screamed at their kids, right? That was just the tip of my beginning to learn about so many things that I never heard of before. Child rearing and parenting has changed drastically, as our tongue-in-cheek video showed. We all want to be good parents, but so much of the time, each generation seems to be parenting for what they missed, what we missed. Because for most of human history, infant mortality rates were so high that just growing up was a big accomplishment. Your parents did what their parents did, you did what your parents did, or were your aunts and uncles if your mom hadn't survived childbirth. Because children were simply little adults who worked in the fields, who went down into the mines, who raised their siblings and did everything that needed to be done to keep the family afloat because they had to. And parents did the best they could with very little official expert advice on what was the best way to raise your children. Emily Oster is a psychologist and researcher who has a podcast called Parent Data. She tries to find actual information and data to offer parents in sorting through the insane cacophony of advice that is available today on social media. In an episode called Parenting Trends Throughout History, Oster interviews Jennifer Trigg, a writer, teacher, and editor who wrote a book called Act Natural, A Cultural History of Misadventures in Parenting. They share some of the ways humans have evolved in our thinking about parenting through the ages. You want to know a weird fact? In biblical times, there was a very widespread practice of rubbing salt all over your baby with fine salt before swaddling it tightly. It was so prevalent that in ancient Greece and Rome that it's even mentioned in the Bible. Why? Protection, creating a barrier on the skin to keep out evil spirits, to help set the baby set so they wouldn't let anything else get in to harm them? It's hard to say. But she says the earliest actual parenting advice that she could find in doing her research was a medical book by a guy named Cyrannus in ancient Greece. And some of it still holds up today. But he warned mothers against using colostrum, which is the milk that comes in right after the baby is born. Cyrannus was insistent that the baby be nursed elsewhere for the first few days because the colostrum was just too rich and cheesy for babies to be able to handle. We all know the benefits of colostrum today, all the antibodies and good things it gives the infant, and just shake our heads. We come up with so many ideas as humans, don't we? But there were other things that societies have sanctioned in the past that are very odd to our modern sensibilities. While we've swaddled babies throughout history, there were times and places where people put hooks on the wall and just hung their swaddled babies on the wall so they could get things done. There were no bottles or formulas, so the history of wet nurses was women who had lost their child but were still lactating. And so they could step in when a mother could not produce enough milk for their new baby. But if a wet nurse were not available, the next best solution? Goats. Goats could fit in a crib. Goats were considered clean. Goats were moral animals. This was all important because they really believed that you were getting more than just nutrition from the wet nurse. You were getting a good moral character. So if you chose somebody that was not a good person, you might be growing a bad child. Fun facts, no? I'm glad my mom didn't know about goats. For sure we'd have had one. So, just kidding, Mom. The poem reminded us that the purpose of parenting is to prepare children for life, to get them ready for what they're going to have to deal with as adults. Philosophers and physicians have weighed in over the ages on what good parenting is, but these teachings vary widely in the Western world, and I did not look beyond our hemisphere. In the 19th century, when scientists were studying everything and poking and prodding and coming up with all these amazing new ideas and maybe some bad science and bad advice, parenting didn't get left out. Treg mentioned an early child-rearing expert named Luther Emmert Holt. Holt wrote a popular childbearing book that was extremely rigid in how parents were supposed to treat their children, including such strict timetables that even his daughter-in-law couldn't follow them. He warned parents away from ever giving their kids hugs and never give them bananas. A little while later, another man named John Broadus Watson came along. Sure, he was an expert. Treg described him as a womanizing alcoholic who became the president of the American Psychiatric Association and one of the most prominent psychologists in America. Yay. His science was iffy at best. He conducted experiments in his own home that resulted in a lot of depression, unhappiness, and mental illness in his children and grandchildren. Now, we haven't heard about these guys for very good reasons, but I think some of you will recognize the name of Dr. Spock. After such weird and harmful advice, Dr. Spock was like a breath of fresh air when he advocated listening to your children, hugging them often, and following with what the child needed rather than outside timetables. It was our first turn towards sanity in the institutional in our country. But you know, Dr. Spock was a long time ago, and we're in a very different moment now. Today, there's so much parenting advice out there, so many sources, so much judgment about who's doing it right and who's doing it wrong, that it's really hard for new parents to know who to trust. Oster says she wrote her book and started her podcast to help today's parents feel that they're okay. She said the biggest question she gets asked is, am I doing it right? Because there are thousands of influencers out there who will say no. Looking through history helps us gain perspective. And there's more leeway in being a parent than we might think. Oster says, look at it this way. We salted our babies, and humans still exist. Today we're in a tender place around parenting, though, with more than a little confusion between generations. One of the places of deep grief that I see in the world comes from parents who believe they tried to do everything right and then end up having adult children cut off relationships, and they just can't understand it. It's not hard to see why that is when you look back at how many of us were raised. I mean, when I was growing up, we had a public service announcement at TV every night after the evening news that says it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Could you even imagine that this day today? And as soon as it was warm outside and warm enough to avoid frostbite, us kids were sent outside to play. There were usually boundaries. We couldn't go across the big street. You had to stay, couldn't go past that house halfway up the block with the big bushes. But mostly we were on our own. We didn't know what our parents were doing, and I'm not sure they really knew what we were doing either. I do remember thinking my mom was magic because every time we'd turn on the outside faucet, she'd yell, "Turn off the water!" Not realizing the indoor pipes squeaked and gave us away, I really did think she had eyes in the back of her head. My parents never attended any of our sports games. We didn't do family vacations. Teachers were always right, and our report card with all A's and 1B, the 1B got the attention. Our part was to keep ourselves occupied, and theirs was to give us food and a place to live and clean clothes and lots of hugs. We did get lots and lots of hugs. But boy, did we go to bed early. Parents needed a break back then. I loved my folks, and to be honest, I know that they did their very best. My grandma had been a single working mom at a time when that wasn't a thing. So my own mom spent most of her summer vacations being farmed off to some relative where they would watch her. Well, because there was somebody at home there. My dad ran wild his entire childhood, stealing cars in his youth just for fun. Talk about free range. When I had my kids, I wanted to do better. I wanted to give them so much of what I felt was missing. I think we all have that universal urge. But you know, I had my blind spots. I fixed what I thought was wrong in my growing up. I made sure my son had his own bedroom, my girls got their own beds, I read to them every night, I attended all of their sporting events, even the cross-country running events, which meant I sat there shivering on cold bleachers for hours. But I was parenting for my generation. I was parenting for what I missed, fixing the things, but not paying attention to what was happening and what was going on right now. And I have to say, I'm lucky. I've had some rough spots with each of my children, but they've taught me to begin coming from a place of listening rather than telling. My middle daughter, Jenny, has a book coming out from Penguin Random House this June called The Wisdom of Feeling. We are all so proud of her. She did the hard work of finding her own healing through an emotionally abusive childhood, and we have wrestled our way through more than a few rough patches. Me learning from my daughter, me giving up the idea that I had the answers because I was the mom. I've had similar rough patches and forward work with each of my children. And our story is both unique and part of the fabric of an evolving understanding of what is needed in parent-child relationships. Because when you factor in all the emotional understanding that we have now, and the fact that each child is born into an entirely different family simply by their birth order, you can see how hard it all is. We have one more very short, funny video to share about the difference between the first and second child.
Bye, Mom.
Love you.
Love you. Nope.
Thank you for listening to your auntie.
You're welcome. And Happy New Year.
Can you listen to me?
Nope. Where did it go? Did it fall out?
And that's just two. Add in a few more, you don't know what the heck you're doing. Is it any wonder we struggle? It's Mother's Day today, and that touches every single one of us because there aren't test tube babies quite yet. The instinctual urge to have children colors so much of who we are and how we know ourselves in the world, how we were raised, how we tried to raise our children, what we wanted for them, what we wanted for ourselves. All of that is in this mix of confusing humanness that is so hard to find our way some days. Life has changed drastically, and if today's any indication, it's going to continue to do so. So what do we do? I think first we recognize that there is never a one-size-fits-all answer. No one bit of advice that is going to create the perfect relationship between parent and child. But I do think that love goes a very long way in smoothing things out. While the Bible might have had it wrong about salting your baby, I think the first letter to Corinthians, Paul does say something true. He says, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. If we can listen and hear, can attune and witness, if we can show up and give space, if we can find that balance between knowing and trusting and self-care and generosity, we might come to understand that none of us will ever be perfect parents, and no child would be a perfect child. There's no such thing. But by paying attention, by noticing what's needed, by listening to that deep well of love and intuition that rest inside every one of us, we might have the best manual we ever can to mother well, to nurture and care for those we love, to parent and grandparent from our deepest core connections rather than our core wounds. Our goal is to grow children into people who are prepared for life, and that's going to look different in each age, with each child, with each parent. The best we can do is be aware and bring hearts full of love. Our greatest gift and our greatest tool will be love. Amen, and blessed be.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining almost blinding light. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the 1,000 reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a world that's been addressed to you, intended only for your eyes. A secret world, a treasure chest to you, of private scenes and brilliant dreams that mesmerize. A tender lover's smile, a tiny baby's hands, the million stars that fill the turning sky at night. And I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. There is a hope that's been expressed in you, the hope of 7 generations, maybe more. This is the faith that they invest in you. It's that you'll do one better than you've done before. And inside you know, inside you'll understand, inside you know what's yours to finally set right. And I suggest, yes, I suggest to you, yes, I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun. This is a song with a request of you to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, will we give anything for one more hour of light? And I suggest this is the best part of your life.
So beautiful. Our closing words are from the Persian poet Hafiz, and they describe the best kind of nurturing love. He says, even after all this time, the sun never says to the earth, "You owe me." Look what happens with a love like that. It lights the whole sky. Congratulations to all our mothers and all those who have made the world a better place by mothering and nurturing the people around you. Go forth today and light the sky with your own strong and lasting love.
Please join me in saying our closing words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world.
So we know that you know this song, but let us do the verses and then everybody join in on the chorus.
On the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well. Your father's help did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams. The one they picks, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And when you hear of tender years, you can know the fear that your elders grew by. So teach your children with your youth. They seek the truth before they can die. Teach your parents well. Their children's health will slowly go by. Them on your dreams, the one they picks, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why. If they told you, you would cry. So just look at them and